Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous two clips we set up the data for print and we set up the page for print. But we're still not quite finished because if I click somewhere on the worksheet here and go to print preview, there's still some things I want to do. Page 1 looks okay to me, not too bad. But when I pop down to page 2, I still find that there's no information at the top here, so I want to repeat some rows at the top so I know what this data represents. I also want to put in things like how many pages there are, so I want to put in page numbers. I want to put in a report title at the top here, and I'd like to put in things like when this printout was actually created, so I have some idea about how recent it is, etc. So just to clear up all that stuff. So that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to add in some headers and footers to tidy up and to finish off this printout here. In the previous clip, we referred to the views, the different views in Excel, and we had a look at normal view, and we had a look at page break preview. So in this instance, we're going to look at the page layout view. This is where we see our headers and footers. So I'll just zoom out a little bit so we can see how this is laid out. So this is laid out in similar to what you'd expect maybe in something like Word or whatever. So you have the pages as you'd see them printed. And I don't go by this because this is accurate, but we're not printing this, but it still shows up in the page layout preview, so don't worry about that. This is the actual bit that's being printed. So in the page layout view here, you can see that there are header areas and footer areas, top and bottom. And when I click on these areas, you can see that the header and footer tab appears in the ribbon. And we can start adding in some information now into the header and footer. Some of this information you can just type in yourself, and other information will consist of fields that will automatically put in date, time, page numbers, etc. So the first thing we'd like to do is put in the page numbers, and I usually like to put in page X of Y, so page 1 of 7, something like that. And the quickest way to do that would be to pop over to the header and footer group here and select this page 1 of Y. When I pop back here now, you can see that it's automatically put it in the center panel. We don't want that, so I'll just do Control X and I'll paste it over here, Control V. So that's cut it and paste it from there. Next thing we'll do, we'll put in the sales report title, and we will go to home, and then we'll just make that bold and a bit bigger so it's obvious. In this panel here, I want to put in the date and time of the printout. So I'll just put in the current date and press return and put in the current time. You'll notice that when you add these things in, it comes in as the field names, not as the actual date and time. But when you click over onto another panel, you'll see that it comes alive 25th of the 5th and the time. So that's fine. And then finally down in the footer. So if I say go to footer, it'll pop you down to the footer. And in the left panel of the footer, it's good to put in something like the file name that you're using. So it is obvious for the next person looking at it that it's that, and also possibly your own name. So anyone reading that report and they want to find out who to talk to about it, they know that it's you that's actually responsible for it. So now if we go to view, normal page, none of that information appears in normal view. So don't be disconcerted about that. And now if we go to the print preview, we'll see that we now have sales report, page 1 of 9, the date and time of print, my name, and the file here. So that's much better. There's one other thing I need to do, and that is along the top here, I can see that I still don't know what these refer to, so I've got to change that so that we can repeat these rows along the top so we know what the report is about. So I'll just click back here, and then in page layout we'll go to print titles, and here it says rows to repeat at top, so I'll just click in the input box there, and the rows we want to repeat at the top of each page will be from 2 down to there. So I want the criteria to be printed at the top of each page, so that's obvious, the criteria that's being used, and the headers for the data. While I'm here, there are other things I might want to do. I might want to print in draft quality or print in black and white. That would be choices for yourself. But apart from that, that's fine. I'll say OK on that. And now we'll pop back to print view, and that will be our page ready to print. So we have our sales report. We have our rows here. This is the front sheet, so it's going to show everything. But for every other sheet, it just shows your criteria. It shows the columns that you want printed, and it shows their headings, date, time. Also, because we set the page break there for more, Collins is there, and then more was the next page. So that's truncated there. That's to be expected, and that's it. So that was all done and dusted, and ready for every other printout you want to do using this particular data and format. Obviously, you can adjust the page breaks as you want, but apart from that, everything else is pretty well set up. So listen, have fun with that, and see you in the next session. So all the best, and bye for now.